here we go. Look who's joining us here. It is Ryan McNaught, Brickman. Let's drop him into the chat here. Brickman, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Your microphone will be muted when you join the meeting. You'll have to unmute your mic. There we go. Ryan McNaught, Brickman, thank you for joining us here on the stream. I really appreciate your time. I know everyone is busy, but I can see you're set up at a painting desk.
I am indeed, yes. I've got a plague burst crawler underway today. Is my painting task.
That's awesome. Have you been doing much painting during lockdown? Because obviously, you're here in Melbourne as well, and we haven't been able to get out very much. Have you found that you've been doing much painting?
I have actually, yes. Whilst it's sort of ebbed and flowed a little bit. Usually, when the weather's crappy, I've tended to have painted a bit more then, but not so much. Not so much the last couple of weeks. The weather's been too good, I think.
Yeah, the weather is certainly getting much nicer here. It's been good. I've been watching some of your Lego streams. For anyone in the chat who doesn't know, Brickman is the Southern Hemisphere's only certified Lego professional, and hosted Lego Masters Australia with Hamish Blake. A wonderful show that my daughter absolutely loves. It's 4 o'clock already, Ryan, and I'm losing track of what I was about to say. I've got to be here until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Well, I'm glad I've got you early because you're in trouble later on by the looks of it, aren't you?
It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be brutal.
I'm gonna have to bail you out, Viv.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Please do, if you know what I was
Send over coffee.
So yes, has been gaming with us in before lockdown, and so I've been watching the streams, and since we haven't been able to game, have you been having a lot of traction with that? Is that something that you've been doing to just remain sane, or
Well, maybe I go back a little bit. My gaming history, pretty much got into games, role-playing games in sort of the mid '80s. Started off playing Twilight 2000. For those who remember that,
yeah,
a long time ago.
Mike's just had a wonderful nostalgic moment there.
There you go.
Brad from
do you want to have a lay down? Are you okay?
You go.
I'll be all right.
You'll be right.
He's probably going to find a copy of it.
There you go. Well, there's been a Kickstarter, of course, like there's been a Kickstarter for every single thing under the known universe. But there's a new one coming out lately. But anyway, I started with that, and then my best friend at school got me into BattleTech, and so I've been a very long-term BattleTecher for a very long time.
Wow.
And obviously, like most of us, as kids have come along and all that kind of stuff, time has been the essence. But that's kind of been the staple. And then once basically COVID hit and we were stuck, I had a targeted Facebook ad hit me for some 40K stuff. And I'm like, haven't played 40K in forever and a day. I thought I better get back into it. So that's kind of the renaissance, I guess.
Oh wow, that's amazing. We've spoken briefly at the club before, and I was under the impression that you just started gaming during lockdown. But look, there's some ancestry there.
And also listening to your podcast before, I've been in Blood Bowl since Series Edition 2 as well, so long-term Blood Bowl player as well.
Oh wow, it'd be great.
Still have my army.
Right, okay. So Ryan,
Didn't realise your nerd pedigree was so strong.
Yeah.
There we go, boys. There's some
there's
some flashback for you.
Yeah,
Classic.
My Blood Bowl was undead, and a little bit of high elves, but mostly undead. Had a great team called Undead United. They had quite a streak too, I must say. A good friend of mine, he had the Death Roller from Hell. That was the only thing that used to stop me. But,
the Dwarf Death Roller? Yeah, I mean, look, let's be honest, when I'm playing elves, it's kind of rock up to the pitch, just hand over the win and then move on, right?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Undead. That's awesome. So do you still have the game, or do you?
Oh, I do, and obviously when the new version came out not long ago, sort of 6 months ago or thereabouts, I did pick it up, and I was very curious to see what the miniatures were like. And I mean, the quality nowadays is incredible compared to what I used to play with years ago. So haven't painted them yet. I have put them together and primed them, but haven't painted them as yet. I joined the pile of shame.
Speaking of football, Ryan, you are obviously keen as mustard, being a massive Doggies fan.
I am indeed. Yes, please don't hold that against me.
I live in West Footscray. Who do you think I have to go for? I'm definitely not going for the Landlords tomorrow.
Yeah.
It turns out you actually used to sit next to a guy who runs Bonehead Brewery. His wife is a mad keen Bulldog supporter, and she and her dad used to sit next to you guys all the time a couple of seasons ago. Because you have season tickets, don't you?
Sure do. Just been sitting in this. Well, normally, yes, back of course in the old days. Been sitting in the same, back before the war. Been pretty much sitting in those same seats ever since we moved from the Western Oval out to the Dome now. So yeah, it's great to see. I kind of miss I miss all the regulars. It's a bit sad.
Hopefully soon. We're on the way out. So
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
And hopefully there'll be another trophy in the cabinet as of tomorrow.
Well, fingers crossed. But of course, my good friend Hamish Blake, he's a very passionate Demon supporter. So there's a bit happening between us at the moment, to be honest. So,
oh dear.
Yeah. So a question for you guys. My 40k army of choices is Tau, but I've taken up the Death Guard because I couldn't get a more opposite paint style to Tau if I tried. And I've really been enjoying them, but I've actually been struggling a fair bit with metallics. So what's the secret? What's the laydown with metallics?
Don't do it.
Just don't do it.
So helpful, JP.
You want easy mode or the non-metallic metals?
Well, that's what I've been trying. I've been trying the non-metallic metallics is what I've been trying. To some
you should totally do an entire guard army in non-metallic metals.
That's it. Yeah,
that's a
all
top
idea.
Yeah, non-metallic's a funny one. You've got to get really careful with your placement. I think the biggest thing is to really push the contrast as hard as you can. It won't look good if you've just got greys and greys and greys. You need that black and you need that really crisp white for certain parts of it just to really make it pop. One of the cheats ways of doing it is just grab metal objects around the house and just hit them with light from different directions and just see what happens when the light plays across it. And even just take a photo of that, and that'll help you work out where to place your transitions.
Is it, I might have missed something just then. Is that for a display piece, or I certainly wouldn't be painting any armies with non-metallic metals. That would be crazy.
Well, I guess the thing is, like most things, we're all mental in some way or another. We all suffer from some sort of dysfunction in our lives. So, I actually do it for all of my trips, and likewise for pretty much every figure I have, I've individually named them and given them a persona. So when Steve the plague bearer dies, Steve's got a family, and he cops it. So I've got to paint them to their best of their abilities.
So I was going to step back there. Not that he's got a family, but his name is Steve, the plague bearer.
In fact, if you could just excuse me for a moment, I'm just going to bring in. I've got a whole heap of guys that I've painted, and I've 3D printed the bases and put their names on each of the bases. So we'll run through the names. Give me 1 second.
Just
1 second.
Do me a favour. Is there Gunter the Nurgling? That's all I want to know.
I want to see the chat fill up with names that they think Brickman has named his figures.
I want to name all 100 Nurglings now, because that's kind of what you need, right?
Yeah. Gary's got to be one of them. If my daughter was
Gary the Nurgling.
Gary is my response to anything.
There's a lot of Barrys and Bruces in there, I'm sure.
Yep.
All right, so we've got the Poxwalkers, the batch painting of 50 Poxwalkers, and so because they're Poxwalkers, all of their names have to start with P. So,
Oh my god.
unfortunately, P isn't that common for a name. So I've even had to go for the same name but with slightly different spelling.
To get that real Gold Coast vibe, yeah?
Totally. Like, we have this guy here, for example's sake. His name is Price, Price, not related to his next door neighbour. That's Price with a Y, Price. So, yeah. So no, I'm invested in them personally. So I'm up for the non-metallic, to be honest.
Did you see the muster call in the morning on that? All right, Sergeant Price.
Yep.
Which one? Oh, Price with an E. Oh, it's like,
That's right. Exactly.
that's like from Rorke's Drift with the when they were doing the call out. Yeah. Only had to do them in numbers rather than names because they all had the same name. So it's 7562.
Totally. And it's funny. Some of them, I'll be honest, when I was running out of P names, I had to get pretty obscure. So some of them are like Perseus. Like, I don't know anyone called Perseus, but, you know, it's a name that starts with P. Mm-hmm. And so some of them are quite Pickle. Here's Pickle. The Poxwalker.
My only question is, if Pickle dies, do you have to rename the model?
No, I do reincarnate them. I don't have birth certificates and all of that kind of stuff.
Don't be ridiculous, JP.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think it's something you should look into.
Anyway,
yeah.
These guys were going to debut at ARC, which of course got pushed back, but they still haven't seen the light of day yet. So hopefully when they do, my opponents, whoever they are too busy trying to figure out their names to look out for my bad tactics. So fingers crossed, eh?
When you allocate hits, you're going to have to name the models that you're allocating the hit to. And if you get the name wrong, you don't get the hit.
It's a literal paperwork minefield. Minefield.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hey Brickman, as it's Death Guard, were you thinking about doing Rusty Metal? Is that something that you were considering? You're going to the effort of naming them all.
Yeah, I definitely am. I did play around. I have got a couple of guys that I've been working on. I suffer from, and I'm sure you guys have a name for this, but when you just can't do the last 5% of the model.
I believe it's doing a Viv.
Oh yeah.
It's being called a wargaming painter, isn't it?
That's what they call it.
Miniature painting.
Pretty good. Can't be fought.
So, yeah, that's it. The CBFs, classic. The CBFs.
Yeah, exactly.
So I spent forever and a day doing a couple of the characters, like Typhus and stuff. Painting Fly's eyes for goodness sake. But I just haven't got around to doing the rust and things yet. So it's on the list for sure. Until I get good at it, I'm not gonna try. I think.
Let's go.
Rust
go
can
grab
get a little out of control.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, way
I was
cool.
gonna say you can always see if I think there's some rust effect that Vallejo's got, or even some pigments and stuff that'll really help.
Yep.
And that'll do it really quickly.
Yeah, I did buy.
Goes a long way.
Yeah, cool. I did buy some Green Stuff World Rusty stuff, so I'm gonna have a play with that.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to jump in here and just say that the foundation page on Beyond Blue Painting for Life is $9 away from breaking 7 grand.
Hey, awesome.
Wow.
Wow.
That is bonkers.
It is
So while we're talking that, Viv, I do have an item for you to do with as you please. I've got a signed Lego set, to give away. So I'll go and grab it in a sec after I paint this, and you can auction it or do with it as you please to raise some funds.
Oh man, amazing!
Oh,
awesome.
Amazing.
Maybe I should pick that up. It won't end up in the Lego cabinet behind me. Also, thank you so much for doing Lego Masters, because now my wife has legitimized my need for Lego and wargaming and PC gaming and darts boards and all the other stupid crap I have in my life that I really shouldn't be allowed to have. So I'm not blaming you, but I'm thanking you for helping make it more mainstream.
My pleasure. I'll take that. No problems. No problems at all. I've been accused of worse things, so I'm happy to take that. To be honest.
No, my wife loves Lego Masters. She's had the most fun with it because it came along at the perfect time, especially the latest season with all the horrible things that were happening.
Mhm.
It's similar to what we were talking about before, Brad. Right? The feel good stuff that you do in your podcast.
That's
It's
right.
all about just all the other shows. MasterChef has gone from being actually an incredibly inspirational show. It still is. Don't get me wrong; they do a great job. But there's so many elements of just forcing the competition to be the main thing they focus on, as opposed to the incredible creativeness of their competitors. So yeah, it's been really, really good. And actually, is one of the reasons I dove back into miniature painting so much last year. Was I went, well, what can I do at home that I'm passionate about? To help me get through it. So thank you very much.
Oh, the least I can do. To be honest, we were going to go down the path of mixing up Married at First Sight and Love Island and Lego all together, but it probably wouldn't have worked as well. Let's be brutally honest.
God, can you imagine Hamish hosting that? Oh.
Yeah.
As a primary school teacher through all of this and remote learning in the West, I might add, go doggies.
Yeah. Woo.
My kids have been outrageously inspired by you and the show. And man, we do show and tell once a week. And the number of Lego kits that have popped up and since this has kicked off, both ones that they bought and then built, using the instructions, or then invented their own because they've been inspired watching your show, has been epic, man. At the ground level, it's making a difference. So thank you.
Well, don't think me. I mean, it's all the contestants, of course. They're the ones that do the incredible, and we just shove a camera in their face and yell at them a lot and tell them they've got 9 minutes to go or whatever. But they're the ones that truly. I mean, we're all creative people in our own different ways. We actually ask people on the show to be creative instantly. We shove a camera in their face and say, "Be creative right now, right this second," and that's really difficult. And that's
pretty
hard.
full on, yeah.
So they're the ones that deserve all of the praise and credit because they really do incredible stuff.
Mm.
And it's about that time that I remind myself why I should have done some more sub-assemblies. Don't you hate that?
Classic Wargamer regret.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You either do too many or not enough.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
So was Lego a big passion for you before you became a certified professional, wasn't it, Ryan? Because I remember seeing shows well before Lego Masters started. I was aware of you because of the work on the massive helicopter. I forgot the name of it. You know the one I mean, the one that did the water dropping, the water bombing. Yes, Elvis. Thank you.
So I loved Lego as a kid. I thought Lego was the ants' pants up until I was about 13 when I discovered girls, and so obviously Lego was not cool from that point onwards. But my mum had kept my Lego from when I was a kid, and so when our kids came along, I've got twin boys. Mum goes, "Well, you better have all your junk back," and lo and behold, my Lego was in that. Because you know what mums are like; they never throw anything out. And so I got back into Lego that way, playing basically with my old Lego again, and sort of went from there. So I had a very long period without Lego, about 20 years, and in the Lego terminology, they call that the Dark Ages. So I had quite a dark age before it got cool again. So yeah, so I kind of, whilst I have been in it all of my life, kind of haven't been as well by the same token, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Well, it sounds like most Wargamers experience. Most of us, started playing and painting and collecting miniatures, in our early teens, and then life obviously starts giving you other options. You're like, I'm going to put those toys away, man, and you come back to it.
Not all of us.
Yeah.
Yep, not all of us.
I wanted to be a cool snowboarder, so I gave it up for a few years for that. And then I came back and went, man, I really miss those little man dollies I was painting. And that's when Nick and I got into Infinity when we moved in together down here.
The other big thing, of course, the big change, and it's very similar in the Lego world too, to be honest. I mean, growing up, you get a bit more disposable income. So that gives you the opportunity to be able to do things that, you hadn't been able to do before.
It's amazing how quickly your collection gets rebuilt once you get back into it.
Although I don't know why I'm shocked. I shouldn't be shocked under any stretch of the imagination. Working with Lego, which is, a premium product and comes with a premium price. I'm kind of shocked at what some of the stuff that we buy costs. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's certainly one of the more expensive hobbies out there.
And it's funny, you want to support, and I don't have a 3D printer for example's sake, but you want to support creatives and people in the easiest possible way. And so I've been picking up a lot of, like, I call them, independent or their own people that have been creating their stuff. And I've got some amazing, incredible figures from people from all over the world that, that have kind of popped up that you wouldn't have known about, years ago. So I think that's been amazing.
Yeah. That's one of the wonderful. That's one of the wonderful things at the moment is, there's so many talented people out there that it's become much easier for them to. Oh, look, you've got one of those fancy vortex mixers too.
I know that noise.
Do you mind if I mix? Is that all right?
No,
you're absolutely fine. We're just laughing because we thought someone was dropping off Uber Eats for JP.
I'll join you, Ryan. Ready?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Three, go. There we go.
There we go. Beautiful.
Oh, the sound of perfectly mixed paint.
When you get old, you've got to look after your joints. So yeah.
No, I was saying, it's wonderful that it's so easy now for people to put their creative work out there. That it's much easier for us to consume all of these wonderful toys and creative endeavors that people are doing all over the world. It's wonderful to see.
It is. I've been obviously being a Blood Bowl player. I've bought quite a few of the Grebo game stuff. Has anyone got any of the Grebo stuff?
No.
Yep. So good.
Of course,
right?
Brad does.
Amazing.
Of course, he does.
Yeah. Amazing. Really cool. Like things like the old Amazon teams and these sorts of things that that we can't get anymore. Truly awesome stuff. I've been really impressed with those. And there's something, I don't know what it is, but there's something very tangible about still working in metal. I think it's lovely.
I love metal.
Yep.
I absolutely love metal. There's a post here in the chat from Nick Heading who says rusty non-metallic metals should be started with dark brown rather than black. The contrast creates a sense of shine, which you want to avoid. You then add light grey to the dark brown and slowly blend up.
Pro tip. Thank you.
Question to the panel from Greybeard's Wargaming. What is the oldest pot of paint you have that is still usable? Oh, boy.
Hold on.
I got rid of all my old... oh, no, I've just noticed one pot was half open. Oh, shit, that's gone. Yeah, okay, see you later.
It's right here. It's a Foundry Arctic Grey from the Foundry paint system bought in 2002.
Wow.
Yeah, still good.
Yeah, I got a bunch of inks here. I think probably my red ink and my black ink were from when I was 18. So that'd be 2004.
Brad, that'd be from 1977, right? That one you got?
Yep.
There? Yep.
This is my extreme highlight for my Death Guard, which is an original rotting flesh from the 80s with a little bit of extra bleach bone added.
Wow, look at that. There's a hex too.
The ones Nick have got are the first ones. My mum and dad actually just jumped on. So hi, mum and dad. Thanks for tuning in. Apparently dad's got no sound. So you see me wave and won't have heard shit. That flesh wash, Mike, that's the stuff we were talking about before. That is a taste that is still embedded in my brain from when I was 10 years old. I haven't tasted paint in forever, but I can still taste flesh wash. It is, it is not
that was
good.
Foul.
Flesh is gone, but this red wash has still got a bit of life in it.
I want to show this pot of Deadly Nightshade. This is probably one of my oldest paints.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know if you can see the lid on this. Half of the lid is missing, right? It's only held on by this tiny sliver.
Yes.
But
is it still sealed, though?
It's still sealed and the paint is still wet and still usable, even though half of the lid is missing. 3/4 of the lid is missing, the little lip.
Yeah, look at that.
But that's mine.
So got
there you go, Bev.
Humble acrylic that cost $1 back in 1990.
Well, there you go. Who would have thought you could get a group of grown men excited about like trying to find the oldest pot of paint?
Anybody who knows this, Viv, that's
I was going to say.
Yeah, true.
Good point.
So Viv, with that pot of old paint you got there, do you know if you open it, you might find a cure for COVID in there, mate? There could be some serious stuff happening in that pot.
Crazy. That was a great question. So Nick goes on with his little tutorial. He says, once you've reached a very light grey, not a full white for rusted metals though, you then put watered down orange into the recesses and gaps.
Yep, that's a very good way of doing it too.
I think he's done that before. Not his first rodeo by the sounds of it.
Nah.
Dan Attrell is in the chat from Arc40K. He says, I would have thought the Lego crossed with Beauty and the Geek would have been a winner.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't want to break any confidentiality rules and regulations here, but those with a keen eye might have seen we actually filmed a few weeks ago Celebrity Lego Masters.
Oh,
which will be airing at Christmas time. We've done a couple of Christmas specials.
Amazing.
And none other than Sophie Monk is on board.
Oh yes, hilarious. Still my favorite contestant on The Bachelorette ever was her. No, I don't watch it religiously, but I watched the first one of hers because I knew she'd be gold. And sure enough, a guy rocks up with a man bun. She goes, "Oh, a man bun." He goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Wow, is that a recent thing or when it was actually in fashion?"
Oh, bazinga!
Just slayed him. She was great. She was really good value.
Brutal.
Bit of inside Lego Masters information. The executive producer who basically runs the show of Lego Masters, a guy by the name of David McDonald, is one of the most incredible model sculptors and painters I've ever met in my life.
Really?
Like unbelievable. Does war based stuff, but amazing. Yep. Unreal.
So scale modelling and stuff, hey, Ryan?
Yeah, scale modelling, pretty much all by hand. It doesn't do any kits or anything.
Wow.
Unreal. Just unreal.
Amazing.
That's so cool. Sculpting is a whole talent that I just, it's really, really impressive people that can pull it off.
I see every now and in some of the groups that I'm on Facebook, someone will post up, sculpted this figure, and you'll see the sculpt, and then painted it up, and I'm really happy with it. And people are like, "Did you make a mold of that?" And you'd be like, "No, just just a one-off, something that I enjoyed making, and so I sculpted it and painted it." And to have that sort of ability to go, I want this, I can see this in my mind, I'm just going to go ahead and sculpt it. Must be a fantastic feeling.
Yep. And even people that you go, sorry.
No, it's all right. What always intrigues me is the speed at which some people can do it. It's mind-blowing. I mean, I know in some Lego models that we work on, we might work on one for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and it gets to a certain thing. People go, "Oh, that's awesome," whatever. And then you look at someone that spent a 15th of the time or a 20th of the time, and it's just as impressive. So
that's some of the craziest stuff with those final challenge builds. The Frankenstein one that won last season, not the one just gone, the one before. To do all of that in the time frame they had was nuts. Like, how do you pull that off? It's just crazy.
Yeah, Jackson and Alex, they moved like absolutely no tomorrow. They're one of the fastest Lego builds I've seen. And
the challenge was great.
Yeah, Jay and Starney were pretty quick too. Starney's got massive hands. He's got like LeBron James hands. So I don't know how he does it with Lego, but pretty cool nonetheless. I reckon you could probably get maybe 50 D6 in his paws. I think it's like a big full on. Way you go. Maybe that's the competition we need, Viv, is who can get the most D6 in their hand.
I've just got spider hands. They fall out. I'm just really lanky and long. So.
Aaron H in the chat here says, Viv, is there an Instagram hashtag or Facebook group or something which we can share and see what other viewers are working on? We did shout out the hashtag Painting for Life hashtag earlier on today, but I haven't checked it. And let me get on there and have a look.
Yeah, I was just going to say I should do that.
So if you want to share anything with us, hashtag Painting for Life, and either post that up on your own Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and I'll see if I can find something out of it.
All right, I've just done this bit, so I'll just go grab this Lego set for you, Viv. Be 1 sec, mate.
Oh, you're a legend. Thanks, Sean.
1 sec.
Daniel Nichols says he still has some 20-year-old paints that are still usable. And Cam Davison says his favourite was Leech Purple and Hawk Turquoise, his oldest paints.
Oh, Hawk Turquoise
from
is
the 1990.
great. Yeah.
Hawk turquoise and testicle pink are awesome colors that never should go away.
There's no one mispronounced that, right?
No, of course not.
All right. Okay.
Pretty sure that's what it says on my bottle.
Given we're coming up to the festive season, a Star Wars Advent calendar.
Oh, very nice.
So you can auction that off. I'll sign it, Viv. So what would you like? What would you like done with it, mate?
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, guys? There's 4 other hosts here. What should we do?
I'm just trying to think of the easiest way to do this because the chatbot was going to take care of the shout outs, wasn't it?
It was.
So we need a way to do a bid. Can we create a bidding thing on the Facebook event? Potentially, or can you actually? Sorry.
Put it on eBay or something?
Yeah, that might be the easiest way to do it, I think.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Whack your signature on it. We'll pop up some photos. We'll oxygen it off. We're
going to aerate it. So
you're doing so well. 6 hours, Viv. You're 6 hours in.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Hang on, let me just.
You're going to get the deconstructed version. It's compressed in the tin, but as soon as you open it, it's gone.
We will auction it off afterwards.
Right, I'll send you an email with a photo, Viv, and with the signature on it, and then you can whack it on Fleabay.
That'd be amazing.
Happy days.
So someone is saying that the hashtag painting for life is already taken.
Oh,
it doesn't matter. We'll jump on it.
Games Workshop, got it? Is that what's going on?
We can hijack it. Let me see what I can.
There's only 6,800 posts with it. Come on, people. We can do more than that this afternoon.
Exactly. We'll add another 1,000 on.
Exactly. I mean, the other thing you could do is maybe add 24HR challenge to the end or something, or even just 24HR, and that would probably be enough. So,
KOD. Just put KOD on there.
That's actually easier.
Yeah.
Yes, I like Tove's thinking.
So
Painting for life, KOD.
Yeah, hashtag painting for life, KOD.
I'm now gonna remember all the stupid bloody hashtags I have. God.
I'm going to somehow work out how to use Instagram.
Well, I was just about to say, I've got to have to try and figure that out.
So what are we calling it?
Hashtag painting for life, KOD at the end for Knights of Dice.
Yep.
That makes the senses.
Ian has just joined us back. He says, I left for a few hours. Good to see you're still going strong. Well, I don't know how strong I'm still going, Ian, but I'm still here.
I'm a teapot. Sorry.
Quick question, Viv. Just a more of a community service announcement. Is your life insurance up to date?
It is not, actually. It is not. I was talking to my wife about it last week, actually. Yeah, we'll see. They've just brought me some delicious food, some salad with some
It's a bit risky.
Some karaage chicken. That should be delicious.
Oh, karaage! Don't get me started on things from Japan.
I'm not sure if this is a good thing to tell you or a bad thing, or if I'm going to become public enemy number one. But earlier today, we did a Uber Eats order of the hot jam donuts from the Vic Market.
Oh yes, yes.
No, I didn't.
Melbourne institution.
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh yeah.
That's
it's good when you're a celebrity, isn't it? You can get whatever you want.
I've got to learn. That's one thing I'm not very good at, to be honest. I've got to probably learn to
being modest.
Make some demands and push things around.
Yeah,
I've got to make some demands and stuff. Don't you know who I am and all that kind of stuff. I've really got to learn.
Use your clout.
I was just about to say.
Play that up a bit.
You should have at least used that line a couple of times already. Don't you know who I am?
Yeah. Don't you know who I am? Yeah.
No.
Give me my jam donuts.
I apologise.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm Terry from accounting. How are you?
Yeah. Amazing.
Gosh.
This is a beautiful model. Has anyone painted a Plagueburst crawler before?
I have not.
No.
They're awesome. They are really cool.
Some of the paint jobs you see on them just look so good. They get like the oxidization of all like the brass and stuff, and then the rust. You know, it's battle damage on it is really good too to do on the front.
And
I've seen a lot of them done.
The checkerboard patterns that they get done on the warning stripes, the yellow and black warning stripes, and this kind of stuff, crazy.
Yeah, sorry, I'm concentrating because I'm painting very small moustaches.
I went through a phase, and I'm sure you guys can have been through similar, when things weren't so good and we had to sell all the toys. And
Yep.
I had this really. I painted it. I spent forever on it. A little 172 scale Bismarck, and I spent forever on it. I spent hundreds of hours on it. And it got like $3 at the garage sale. And yeah, you know what it's like. People don't appreciate these things.
Should have had on eBay, pro painted.
Pro painted, yeah. Level 7 of pro painting. I don't even know what that means, but you put that on there, and I think it adds a 0, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and I think at that point you hand the $3 back, you take it to the local pool, and you sink the Bismarck.
Yeah, totally. Just throw tinnies at it. Yeah, throw tinnies at it and sink it. Captain, we have taken the hit. The Fosters has hit us on the starboard bow.
9-9, turn to port now.
Yeah, that's right.
I warned everybody there'd be German impersonations a couple of
It
later.
wasn't me though.
You did.
No offence to our German friends. Apologies.
We actually did have a German friend on for quite a long time earlier. It was very early in the morning for him, and he stayed for about 3 or 4 hours from memory.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've had a lot of people from around the world. I don't know. Have you heard of the Evia Metal group, Ryan? On Facebook?
No, I have not. No.
It's just a bunch of people who love painting miniatures, and there's absolute freaks of nature who you know, we all wish we could paint as well as. But there's just everyday blokes like us who post on there as well, and they're really supportive. So I think a bunch of them have come from there, which has been really cool.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, what's they always talk about I forget the name of the author that talks about it, but the 10,000 hours that you need to do 10,000 hours to be good at something. I mean,
depends what you're doing. It depends what you're doing for the 10,000 hours.
He's wrong. I've been
if you just dry punching,
things have improved.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say name.
No, you go.
Sorry, go on. I was going to say naming all those poxwalkers took me more than bloody 10,000 hours, but that's okay.
That's why you've come up with more P names than anyone else on the planet.
Just a random P name, just because we can. It is Payton, Payton. Payton the Poxwalker. There he is.
Payton the Poxwalker.
Payton the Poxwalker.
So Ryan, is there any model that you do need naming? Is there an unnamed?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a poll.
There's a poll.
Yeah.
Actually, there will be. When I've got to do about 6 Blightboard Terminators, and I haven't got names for them yet. I've pretty much got everyone else except for them. So bees, if you've got good bees,
Have
you named the crawler?
Face?
No, I haven't named the crawlers. I don't name vehicles.
Oh.
I should.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
probably.
I should, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a
Depends on the
P again.
vehicle.
It's a P. Oh.
I'll pop up a poll. Actually, no, we can't do a poll. Just go spam the chat with your B names for Ryan. Titan Wargaming says he had to paint one of those once. I had to speed paint one a while ago. A mate destroyed one of his the day before a tournament. So while he was working, I quickly smashed one out from my collection for him.
Oh, that is awesome. How's that for looking after each other?
And Daniel Nichols, I haven't checked the Painting for Life fundraising page over at Beyond Blue for a bit. He says it's over 7,000. Whoa!
Hey!
$7,116.12. What an amazing effort so far. That's unbelievable.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So we're filming another
Thanks,
series
Mike.
of.
All right, I'll be back later on, boys.
Yeah, pop in.
Keep going.
Anytime.
Cheers, Mike. See ya. We start filming another series of Lego Masters shortly, and which will be a lot of fun. And I've been trying in some of the downtimes to do some painting, and I'm just wondering maybe I should just work on one model for the whole series. And if so, what should I paint? Do you think?
Ooh.
Have you done Mortarion?
You know what? It's funny you say that. I've got him undercoated. I've got that, but I haven't painted him yet. But that might be a bit big. That might be hard work. He's unreal, by the way. He's a crazy model.
Right?
It's a shame. That would have been really good. But
we've got some B names in the chat here.
What do we got? What's in the B?
All right, so we got Bruce. We've got Bloody McBlackface.
Yes.
We've got Brock.
I think that was inevitable.
Brock is the same as the name as my son's lizard. Bill, Bertrand. We need a Bruce. Pokely Woo says Bob.
Bruce.
Beatrice. Boyd Morale comes in with the big Boris.
Boris is awesome.
Boris the Bloodwalker.
And I think I could probably give him a bad haircut too. I reckon.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That would be
one
that
of
would be
those
awesome.
80s crew cuts, with the high top style.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking Boris like the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson.
Yeah. That's immediately what I thought. I went
there. Yeah, I'm with you, Brickman.
Olaf in the chat here. He's a German fan. He says apology accepted. Lol. I think,
Buy that man a beer. Buy that man a beer.
Aaron H says
The Fosters in particular.
Or Brosnan.
Brosnan.
Bill.
Brosnan.
Bobby Bobbitt. Bronson. Billy
Billy
Boo.
Bob. Billy Bob.
What about Bros?
Yeah.
What about Bros?
You could go Boris Borschenegger.
Bob Beelzebub.
Oh, Beelzebub's pretty good. I like that.
The bees there might be.
Bazza.
I was going to say Barry.
Yeah, Dad's name's Barry. Dad's name's Barry, so I probably can't do Baz. I'll be in trouble.
Barry the Blightwalker. Yeah, that might.
He doesn't have to know, does he?
Probably not. He probably
Son, why is my name on this small toy soldier? Well, funny story, Dad.
And why is his guts hanging out all over his armor? What's the story with that?
Dad, I've told you, stay out of the hobby room. God.
Yeah, please. So that's actually a conversation in itself. Is the hobby room? I'm very lucky. Of course, being a public holiday today, I've got free range to the hobby room because I do share it with my partner, and it's her office normally. So I've got permission to be in here today, which is lovely.
That's amazing. That's great. It must be. You've got paints on the wall and stuff there, and you've got a lamp there. It's obviously set up all the time, though.
Yeah, I've got a corner, and it shrinks. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
It's like that Black Books episode with the apartment every time she goes back in. Yes.
Totally, it's exactly
why
what
has my desk lost a leg? Like, why is it?
Yeah. So, the only defense I have against the shrinking thing is to actually get some more plastic of shame, just to box it up to make some sort of fortress.
Create a palisade of unopened boxes.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not that I can talk, but I mean, Lego is notorious for being 87% air in the box. But I'm pretty sure some of the miniatures I've bought lately are pretty similar too.
Yeah.
That was a good example, Ryan.
Yeah.
Nicholas Daphnis.
That box was all air.
All air. It's a cracking set, by the way, that cantina.
I know. I had so much fun. I kept redoing bits of the scene and sending photos to people as I built it, and they're like, "We asked you to stop, but this is great."
Yeah, it's cool.
The characters are good. Sorry, Viv.
I was just going to say in the chat there, Nicholas Daphnis D. Good morning from Greece.
Oh, good morning, Nicholas.
Nice.
Congrats for the effort.
Morning.
Paint till you drop. Thank you for joining us from Greece.
That's an heavy metal man right there. Yep.
Yeah.
I am guaranteeing right now to the chat that I will be well dropped in less than another 6 hours. My brain is already frazzled.
You're in trouble. So I've got another confession to make. I feel like I'm with kindred minds that confessions are okay, that I can spill my guts without being judged too much. But I made a bit of a mistake. Well, call it a mistake, call it good fortune. I've always said that I'm only going to have a couple of armies, and that's it.
I like where this is going.
We shouldn't mock you, but it always
Seriously.
starts that way.
I mean, starting with I'm only going to do one. That's not good.
So can I say what I bought? Can I share what I splashed on?
Please do.
All right, hang on.
I'm going to rejoin with my other one and just show you how deep the rabbit hole goes when it comes to just one army.
Yeah. So I bought the Orc Combat Patrol.
Nice.
Oh, they're great.
And the thing that got me that I love so much is the helicopters with all the weapons, the Defcopters.
Yeah, they're great.
They are unreal. Like the molds on those look fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what got me sucked in. Yeah.
Awesome.
Has anyone got shares in GW, by the way?
No.
I used to.
Yeah,
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago we were talking about it, and this was before they bounced back, and we're like nah, not really massively into it, and then we were like might as well just get a little bit, and then time went on, and before you knew what was going on, we're years later, and I'm like far out, should have bought those shares, man.
Yeah.
I lost money on
like-
mine for a long time until I got rid of them.
Really?
Now I regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to show you the just one army theory here.
Oh, what have we got? So call them out. We got
Adeptus Titanicus at the top. Oh,
Yep.
hang on, I'm getting feedback. I just need to get. Let me get another pair of headphones to block the other one because it won't let me turn it off on the phone. Hang on.
It's getting some feedback. In the chat here, Boyd Morale, who had mentioned the name Boris, says he was more thinking Boris the Blade as opposed to Boris Johnson.
Okay, take it on board. Doesn't have as cool a hairstyle. Sorry.
No. Betsy?
Well, I must say, I don't know if you heard the Boris Johnson news the other day. He finally had to admit how many children he's fathered. I thought that was pretty good.
Like 6 or something.
What?
Yeah, he's got 6.
Crazy. Question from the chat here
Oh.
says, where is it? From Aaron H. I recently saw some people using Lego buildings as wargaming terrain. Thoughts on this?
Totally on board. I think you can use Lego for anything.
Yeah.
When I was
You may be slightly biased, though.
well, totally, of course. Although it's probably not much of a pacemaker. Nor a defibrillator.
No thing, isn't it?
I
Go back to
personally
the-
feel that the Lego Stalingrad set's a real winner.
Yeah. Actually, I can tell you a funny story because it didn't happen to me. That's usually the way the Lego funny stories go. So many years ago, probably about 10 or 15 years ago, and I'm pretty sure you can still find it on YouTube, Lego had this really cool project where if you were an artist and wanted to use Lego bricks as the medium for doing something artistic, they would send you some stuff, like bricks that you needed or stuff like that, totally free of charge, as long as you did something that was cool and really interesting. And so this one guy decided to make, and I kid you not, you'll be able to Google this and see the photos, he made Nazi death camps out of the Lego.
Oh God!
Like
Yeah,
little
we joke
Auschwitzes.
about that, but I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that was true. That's kind of depressing.
It's true. He made little like ovens and the whole bits and pieces out of this Lego that he got for free. This is deadly serious. And he did this big political statement about how this big mega corporation, was capable of doing this kind of stuff. And so, funnily enough, that poor artist program that Lego had very, innocent intentions with, got canned. So, but anyway, you can Google them and have a bit of a look at them. They're horrific, to be honest. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Dan Natural,
Crazy.
organizer of Arc 40K, Ryan has posted here in the chat. He says, I feel like you just pledged to bring along a table's worth of Lego to the next Arc.
Is that allowed? Am I permitted to have a 40k army made out of Lego? Am I allowed to do that?
Table. You need to build a table with the scenery and everything.
Yeah, the whole lot.
He wants the Lego terrain.
Well, a good friend of mine, and I don't know if I can share screens on this or not. A good friend of mine,
You could.
a good friend of mine made a Lego Great Unclean one. Has anyone seen that?
No.
No, but I've got a feeling I heard something about it.
Let me.
You find that, Ryan, and you can share your screen. There's a button just below your chat window that says present, and you should have permission to do it. I just wanted to point out that Lisa here in the, or Liza, is it Liza Amundsen in the chat?
Lisa,
she says, is it sad that my husband and I are both watching this live stream in 2 separate rooms? No.
I mean, that sums up lockdown, right?
Yeah, that's the lockdown.
That's our next poll.
But it was
it's only sad if they're not drinking at the same time.
I found the photo. I'm just gonna take it off my phone and send it, and we'll get it on the way. Don't you love technology?
Right.
Sometimes.
Cam Davidson says, don't get me started on multiple armies. He says, I've painted a new army for Arc 40k every year since 2005.
Oh,
wow.
What a champion.
Is there anyone who hasn't done?
He says, I now have next year's and the year after because of Indomitus as my projects. Crazy.
There you go.
Morgan Harris says, you could get away with Lego in Kings of War.
That's true.
Ed apparently made someone do it. Just chucked €10 your way from Dennis's Miniature Mountain.
Oh, thanks, Dennis. Dennis is, so have you guys heard of Age of Squidmar on YouTube?
Yes. Great.
He's hilarious videos and some really good content as well. His video on taking photos made a massive difference for me. And Dennis is a really nice guy who helped me basically work out how to set that up. And he's a member of the Patreon group for Age of Squidmar, which I'm part of, and they're really lovely as well. They're really supportive of people of all levels of talent and all all walks of life. So yeah, shout out to them. Thanks, Dennis.
I loved. Actually, really enjoyed his Thunderhawk build.
Oh, that was so cool, right? That was just one of the coolest things.
Didn't that just sell for the highest amount ever for miniature? Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
It was a beautiful paint job as well for a Blood Angels Thunderhawk.
Yeah. I started writing a rule set when I was a kid.
Wow. Okay.
Oh no! So they're using it to build the structure and paying far too much. Use XPS foam. It's a lot lighter and a lot cheaper than Lego. Hang on, what's Ryan doing? Oh wow!
Oh, cool!
That's amazing. That's so cool.
The guts is what I love the best. I think that looks sick, and the little dudes that are stuck in the guts and stuff.
There's some really good part usage there.
Your
fave, Ryan.
Yeah,
what was that? Sorry.
NPU. Nice part usage, and I've got a zoom in here. Hang on. There you go.
Yeah, those guts are awesome. That's such a smart way to do it. Oh,
so I think the organizer at ARC, I forget the chap's name. If he's keen and he wants to, I'll see if I can put an army together.
Dan.
If Dan's up for it, I'll try and put an army together like this and see how we go.
Well, Dan's in the chat there as Arc 40k. So, Mr. Attrell, let us know if you want Ryan to bring along a Plague Demon army made from Lego. It looks great.
Yeah. It's pretty sick.
I was gonna quickly go through the miniature cabinet. Sorry, now that I've stuck some headphones in, so I can't hear the sound of it. So what do we got? We've got. Join, please. There we go. See me all right?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
So we've got... Actually, I might get some light over here. Make it a bit better. Better for the light there. So we've got Adeptus Titanicus here, which Toph got me into. He goes, just buy this Titan off me. It'll be fine. You won't have to buy any more after that. Anyway, so we've got... Oh, they're such nice models, though. And then he also went, hey, Aeronautica looks really cool. We should get into that. And we've played a grand total of no games of that with these panel models.
We played one, Ed.
Yeah, but not with my models. That's my point. These are all painted last year. I got a bust here that was done with Kaha. She's really cool. That was fun. And then this is a Wood Elf unit from when I worked at G-Dub. This is the most important thing, and maybe this is something we should ask everyone in the chat to do. These are the first 2 models. Oops, sorry, Radoga. These are the first 2 models I ever painted as a kid.
I still got them.
I don't know if it's focusing. There you go. Old school Chaos Warrior and Chad Marine from the Start Painting box.
Awesome.
So still got them. Always remember your roots. It's really important. That also goes when you're dyeing your hair. And then this is the last 24-hour challenge. This whole Rohan army was painted in 24 hours, which is a lot more than I'm going to be doing today. I think I'm on track to do maybe 24 models at this stage because these French are super detailed. This is the infamous Trash Pandas for Infinity. These guys did so badly. I think I'm the first person in Infinity history to get 2 victory points without winning an actual game because they forced a buy on me in round 4. For the rest of the tournament, I failed every dice roll possible and did not achieve any objectives through a combination of smart tactics from my opponents and terrible luck on my own part. And then Ariadna, I painted those guys in 2 days for CanCon the year before. The Japanese, so these guys are cool for Infinity as well. They got really cool cyberpunk. This is the bikes I was talking about earlier in the day, the Flying V. We've got Poppy growling at something in the background. Love you, darling. And this is the Blood Angels. So I got back in 8th ed. And yeah, I've painted all this up in the last 2 years, basically.
Wow.
What's wrong, Pop? And then these Elder I painted, geez, when did I work for G-Dub, Nick? 14 years ago now.
Yeah.
Poppy, it's okay, darling. And yeah, this is the first time I ever tried freehand as well, which was pretty crazy. Sorry about the dog in there. What's wrong, gorgeous? Let me take care of her for a sec. What's up, darling?
Speaking of Eldar, when do we reckon we're going to see him again?
Hopefully soon, because their codex is trash. And then, sorry, just to finish, the Blood Bowl halflings.
Oh, awesome.
Which
the Elder are going the same way as the Squats. It's the you'll never see him again.
Yeah, Eldari. Just trying to trigger everyone, aren't you, JP? But yeah, that cabinet was only, I'd say half full at the start of last year of painted stuff.
Wow.
That's all. That's mostly been done. So the Infinity stuff was painted, and the rest of it, yeah, and the Blood Bowl stuff, and that was it. Oh, and the Eldar, sorry.
So thanks to COVID.
Well, thanks to painting for keeping me sane in COVID.
Yeah, we've spent a number of times now painting stuff together and doing those challenges. I've painted obviously more than I ever have before. It's been great.
I think
I've
it's been really good. I think one of the best things about it is, as my wife always says, I don't mind how much stuff you have, as long as you enjoy it. You know, like if you're using it and you're having fun with it. You're painting G.I. Joes for a rule system that doesn't exist, Brad. We're talking different levels here. Although they are awesome, and I really, really wish I could find them. So I may pick some up now. What's wrong, Pop? I've got a little puppy, and she's just a bit excited.
Spelled another one.
Oh gosh, where was I up to?
So I've got one final debate before I sign off that we need to clear the air on here. And Viv and I approached this last gaming night that we had. Is what's the level of nerd between obviously Lego nerds, are nerds, and us gamers, we're nerds. Where's the ranking of nerd? Where do we sit in the play of nerds?
In the nerd scale.
Yeah, like when a nerd goes, Jesus, he's a nerd. Right?
Well, I'll give you a scale, right? So
okay, right.
So there's Lego, and I'd say Lego. Let's scale 1 to 10. 10 being super nerd, 1 being I like Marvel. So
that's a whole different scale again.
Yeah.
I think Lego's around about a 3. Right?
Okay.
Wargaming's around about a 5, and then train modeling's 10.
I would agree with you.
Walk socks and sandals level.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I think on the crazy nerd scale, I think that's where it sits.
Yeah, rivet counters are next level, aren't
they? Yeah. There's nice work, Brad. There you go. Counterpoint. I think Lego nerdery has become less nerdy since the more mainstream approach, and since the sort of our generation has got that disposable income to buy it more. I think when I was trying to get into Lego trains, which is probably my fault, which is the train part of it more than the Lego part of it, when I was 17, the people doing it were really proper nerdy. They were still lovely people, but it was just like, oh wow, he's a nerd. Or, she's a nerd, like it was that level. And now it's totally different. I reckon it's flipped a lot. I think Lego's become a lot more mainstream again. I see it like it's our versions of jigsaw puzzles. Yeah. That makes sense. You just also get to use it afterwards instead of just having that lovely picture of a deer in a forest with some rabbits.
A 7.
Oof.
What if you both? Does that make me a 16? Did I like both?
You broke the scale, Ryan. You broke it.
So hold on. If 40K is 9, then what do you call people who are painting Napoleonics? Because there's a couple of those in this chat. I mean, what do we?
Hello. That's why I said I've skipped being a father and go.
We have our own scale, Brad.
Yes, you are correct.
You've got to roll multiple dice to see where you are, and then you've got to see if you're doing command.
Oh, great question. All right, I've got a theory on this. I think it depends. No, it depends on the type of cosplay. Like if they're cosplaying 40K, like if someone is, 12, the Emperor, for example, that's like astronomical. But if they're cosplaying Hello Kitty, that's okay. That's like a 4. So I think it depends on what level.
And then if you're cosplaying just for Instagram likes and you're not actually a nerd at all, you're actually just a 1.
Yeah.
I think it's also incredible how different cosplaying is now compared to 15 years ago. Yeah. And back then, like the replica prop forum wasn't anywhere near as big as it is now. You've got so many third-party manufacturers making armor sets and everything. Whereas back in the day, it was all, someone, I can't remember who was talking about it. Maybe it was Mark Hamill. He was talking about this massive fan. There's this young girl who'd basically had to get a VHS of, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Brad, don't you? Looking at the VHS of Return of the Jedi, or maybe even it was A New Hope. But basically, they had made their costume really accurate for a Rebel pilot, based entirely off VHS, pausing and scanning back and forward and doing amazing. All that.
Get all the look arounds. Sorry, chat, I have unmuted my microphone. Again, I muted my microphone to YouTube and people couldn't hear me. But
what is your cool facts, Brad?
That story's even more amazing because that girl did it before the VHS came out.
Oh shit, that's right. She did. She went back to the film, like the cinemas,
right.
like heaps and heaps of times. Oh my god, you're right.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Before VHS, baby.
Yeah. Very cool.
Amazing.
Very, very cool.
And I think what we have noticed with cosplayers is, as you say, they pick some obscure character, like some character that was in the background of a scene for half a second in one episode from series 14. That kind of level. That's pretty high.
Yeah,
that's pretty high on the scale.
But don't forget, in Star Wars, if you're in the background of a scene for 0.5 of a second, you actually have an incredible backstory that was written about in the mid-90s when they merchandised everything in the expanded universe.
Yeah.
So years ago...
You go, Brad.
So just to go back to things aren't the same as they used to be. A million years ago, mid to late 90s, a friend of mine who worked for GW Corporate was representing the company at I think Gen Con, and it was after hours, and he went to the bar with some friends, and they were hanging out in their workshop gear. And a group of LARPers went by, vampire LARPers. And the girl stood there in the corner with the sign of "I'm invisible," and everyone kept running by, and he walked up and was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And she's like, "I'm invisible. I'm invisible." "No, you're not. I can see you." And then she's like, "No, go away." And eventually, they started talking. She's like, "Look, I'm not interested in your nerdy tabletop stuff." And he's like, "Well, look, I'm not interested in your LARP stuff, but I am interested in you." Started talking, and then last I checked, I think they're still married.
Wow. Love it.
But
What a story.
It was that whole like whose brand of nerd is nerdier? And yeah, they hit it off in that they were both there to enjoy games.
I do love how nerdiness can bring people together. My now wife, I met her at a wedding. It was like a Hollywood movie. I was the best man. She was the maid of honor. And she kind of sussed out I was a nerd pretty quickly. I know. Shocking, right? And she dropped a couple of Pokemon references at the dinner table. And my ears just, I thought, who is this woman? This is amazing. She's dropped super effective and a couple of other things. And then we're dancing, and I'd had a few drinks, and she's like, "Oh, I do Latin dancing." I said, "Oh, you should meet my alter ego, Eduardo del Fuego." And in my head, I'm going, why? For the love of almighty God, did you just say that to this cool chick? And without skipping a beat, she responded, "He will have to meet my friend Lola Velasquez." I'm like, okay, this is going somewhere.
Yes.
What's going on? And now we're married, and I actually do Latin dancing with her now. So, funnily enough, it worked.
That's a great story.
Good pickup line. Good pickup line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, seriously, she cracks me up. Anyway,
Daniel Nichols in the chat says, "A lot of my adult male friends enjoy assembling Lego as a hobby. It doesn't seem very stigmatized. 40K is still like, whoa, what now?"
Neckbeard, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably the personal hygiene level is something that we need to broach in there somewhere.
Yeah, it is. Fairly
Sorry, I didn't shave.
stereotypical and synonymous.
Yeah.
I remember one of our friends rocked up to CanCon with a tactical vest of Lynx cans.
Oh god,
and he literally shook one up, sprayed it, and threw it down the aisle of all the Infinity gamers. Many laughs were had.
Dennis's Miniature Mountain says, "So me cosplaying a Hogwarts student is less nerdy than playing 40K? Awesome."
Oh, Pop, what's going on?
That was on Daniel's scale of 40K being a 9.
Yep.
I think the legitimizing of our hobby, I think it's definitely happened and is continuing to happen. And I think the internet obviously contributes a lot to that. But also the fact that I think COVID has helped a lot in that we've all of a sudden realized how important self-time is. Yep. And how important it is to look after yourself and do things that you love. And so that they're only good things, which I think we can focus on if we wanted to find positives out of where we're at,
Yeah.
No, it's definitely
plus.
Yeah.
People like us are now, able to talk or bring our culture mainstream. For example, you talk about the guys behind South Park. Marvel Crisis Protocol, the miniature game, was in a recent episode, and Gaslands was in it like a year ago.
Really?
As the games themselves. They actually have pictures of the covers of the games in the background.
Yeah.
And Marvel Crisis Protocol was mentioned by name.
Wow. Daniel goes on to say, aside from saying it was better that I had my microphone muted, please mute it again. Aside from that, he says, "I think nerd itself doesn't carry negative connotations anymore. Everyone's is a nerd about something. It's just a passion in a particular direction."
Totally agree with that.
And I think that's right. Good work. And what you were saying, Ryan, is spot on. We each have our own passions, and being able to have our own time is super important. And because there's been so much more online activity during COVID, people are getting exposed more and more to their friends hobbies and passions, and it can only be a good thing.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Well, on that note, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Ryan, for coming on.
I painted a bit. I did a little bit. I started a bit of the non-metallic metal action, so we'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed.
Lovely. I appreciate you taking some time to hang out with us, and I'm glad you got some painting done.
No, and I've got plenty of B names as well, so look out for those Blight Lords when they hit the tabletop.
Lovely. As of the Blood Lord.
Yep. And I'll send you a photo of that set, Viv, and then hopefully we can raise some more money.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Thanks, Ryan. You're a legend. I'm looking forward to catching up soon.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, everyone. Hope you have a great day.
Thanks, Ryan. Absolute privilege, mate. Appreciate it.
Good luck. See you.
Take care.